this is a help video for Access Chapter 7, Prepare Case B, beginning at step number 11. So we're going to move our knowledge of SQL into having more than one table. Up to now, in our from, we've only ever listed one table. But we know, since we know how to make queries, is that the power of the queries is to bring data from multiple tables together. And what we have been doing in the past, just not naming it, has been inner joins. And so I wanted to show you this example here. We have the table employees and we have the table schedule and the set of all records in each table. The inner join is the intersection between employees and schedule. So the only thing that would return as a record in the result set would be the records in here where employees exist in the schedule. If we have employees that haven't and don't have any data in schedule, they would never appear on this query. So what we want to do is this inner join where we are listing what is the common field between, right? So when we think about the primary key and the foreign key, when we're working on SQL, we have to identify that field that connects the two tables together. So we have to spell it out for the system. So let's go ahead and look at what we have to do here. So we're going to create an inner join query using SQL that lists all from customer and related records in purchase. We're going to use customer first name, last name, product ID, and purchase. Notice there's no qualification at all in terms of the records. The rows that are returned. So let's do query design. Let's get out of this and go to SQL. And then I'm going to turn over to this. We'll do a new so we can see it. So the first thing I need to do is what we've already learned, select. And then this time I am going to start to put the the table name in front of it. Because here's the thing, if I'm joining more than one table together, I want to identify where these fields are from. Particularly if we have the same field named, I did this wrong. In multiple tables. Remember we talked about in class how we had first name and first name. One was in employee and one was in member, and how it can be confusing. Well, this is an example of why it's confusing. So we want from the table customer, we want customer first name. From the table customer, we want the customer last name. From the table purchase, we want product ID. And then from the table purchase, we want purchase type. So what you see here is separating the table and the field name is a period. So table customer dot customer first name, comma, which ends this. Next field, and so on. So what we want in the from is we're going to list the two tables, so table customer, and then we have to say how these two tables are joined. So the normal method that we use for putting more than one table is an inner join. We really haven't talked about outer joins yet, whether it's a left or a right. We haven't even talked about that. So what you want to do right now is just an inner join, and then on, so from customer joined, inner joined with purchased on, And we have to identify the fields. Let's see, customer ID equals to the purchase customer ID, semicolon. So this on statement is listing the two tables that we're joining and the field in each of the tables that is common. Doesn't have to be the same name, remember, but it has the same data. So this would be the primary key and this would be the foreign key, right? So let's see if this works. I'm going to copy this into and run it. Let's see what I get. So I get 18 records and I see just the customers who have made a purchase, right? So let's see if I come here to customer. Let's find somebody that's not. So Emily's in there. Okay, so Brendan Rhodes. He is not in there. So if I go and he's customer 5. So if I go into the purchase table, right, and I look for, let me open this up. If I look for customer, who did I say? Brendan Rhodes. Right? So he's not there. So that's why he's not showing up in this, because he never purchased anything. So we can join in SQL by using the inner join. Let's go back and look at it one more time. So here, from table 1, inner join table 2 on, table 1 equals table 2 field. So we're going to save that as QRY customers and purchases SQL, and we're going to close that out. So we're done with 11. So let's take a look at number 12. Create an inner join. Okay, so I know there's going to be more than one table. From table service and everything from related from schedule, employee, date of appointment. Ooh, we're going to count service name and rename it. We're going to group it by employee and date. So we're throwing everything at this. And then we're going to sort it by this order by date of appointment and count, and then this count is the second sort in descending order. Okay, so let's take a look at this. This is going to be called total services by employees by date SQL. So this looks really overwhelming. So let's just break it down, okay? So let's do new, and then let's break it down to what we need it to be, because we can do some of this without much thought anymore. So select statement, we know that. So select, and then we're just going to put every field that we want to see and the corresponding table it came from. So table schedule dot, what's that first one? Employee, table schedule dot date of appointment, comma, and then here we're going to do, we've done this, right? We want to do a count, so we're going to do count out in front of it, and then inside we're going to do table service dot service name as total services, right? As total services. So we are getting the service name we are counting them, and that new value that has the count of service name is now going to be called total services. So we've got that done. From, and then here's where the new thing comes in. We're going to take table service, inner join table schedule on from table service from table service dot service ID equals table schedule dot service. Must be service ID. So let's see. Okay, from table service, inner join with table schedule on the service ID equal to service ID. Is that doesn't look right. Hold on. Let's go back and just verify. I'm not sure that looks right. Let's go back to my access here. And let's look at this table service in design view. Service ID. Yes, see, service ID isn't. Oh, yeah, it is right there. Table service ID. Oh, yeah, that's the one that I thought was, okay, table schedule. That's the one I want to look at. So let's look at table schedule. So these are the kind of things you want to do. So, yeah, so it's not called service ID. I was wrong. I did think it was. It's just called service. So you have to make sure that you're doing the right field names when you're creating this. Okay, so on table service, and then we still have some work to do, right? We need to do the group by, and we're grouping it by, in this table schedule, the employee, and in the table schedule by date of appointment. So we're grouping by that, and then we're putting in a sort of the date of appointment, and then the count of service name, right? Service name descending. So let's copy this and run it. This one's pretty complicated. So let's go over here, and did I get out? I must have. I'm going to create a query and design, SQL. I'm going to paste this in and run it and see what I get. So I should get 25 records. And so for every employee, it shows how many service was done. And let's go look at the design grid. See what the heck we did here. So look, we have so what we want to do here is just kind of look at what we did. So look, this group by and count, that's part we did. We renamed service name to total service, and here's our sorting. So if we look at our SQL, we can pick out those pieces and relate them directly back to how we have been working on it. So you've been doing this all along. We just haven't looked at the SQL. So let's go ahead and save this one. Query total services by employee by date SQL. And then I'm going to stop the movie at the end of 12 here, and we'll pick up 13 where we start looking at left and right joins. All right. Thank you.